let's jump right in. Today, we're tackling a reality that's frankly keeping a lot of operations and HR leaders up at night. And no, we're not just talking about rolling out a new software tool. We are talking about fundamentally tearing down how we build our teams. For decades, right? The org chart has been this predictable, rigid pyramid. But generative AI, it's not just swapping out the tools we use to do our work. It's literally forcing us to reinvent organizational structure from the ground up. If you're running the exact same traditional hierarchy you had, say, 5 years ago, you're already falling way behind. So we need to talk about the AI-first org chart, and more importantly, how to actually build one. I want you to seriously picture your current organizational chart for a second. Now ask yourself, if you drew that exact same chart today, would it look any different if AI simply didn't exist? Think about that. If your answer is no, if your structure looks completely identical to how it looked before generative AI exploded into the workplace, well, you've got a massive structural problem. Because that means you aren't actually adopting AI. You're really just pretending to. And that leads us straight into this massive trap that we like to call the bolt-on illusion. Look, right now, most companies are simply bolting AI tools onto a legacy org chart that was designed for a world without them. They buy the software licenses, hand them out to their existing teams, and just wait for some revolutionary productivity spike. But here's the thing, you absolutely cannot map next-generation technology onto a legacy structure and expect it to work. It's like putting a jet engine on a horse-drawn carriage. When you just bolt AI onto old workflows, you aren't transforming your business, you're just creating a slightly faster version of your existing bottlenecks. To truly unlock this technology, the actual physical structure of your teams has to change. Okay, let's dive into this. An AI-first org chart looks structurally different in 3 very specific ways. First, you're going to see fewer layers of pure coordination. Second, we're seeing the emergence of entirely new hybrid roles. And third, decision rights are fundamentally shifting downward. Let's break these down one by one. First up, pure coordination. Just think about how many roles in a traditional org chart are historically dedicated almost entirely to gathering status updates, scheduling, moving information from one silo to another, and producing rudimentary first draft work. In a pre-AI world, you needed this massive layer of middle management and administrative support just to keep the machine running. And let's be real, to survive those endless status update meetings. But when AI instantaneously handles those status updates and automatically manages the scheduling and spits out those first drafts in seconds, the whole dynamic shifts. You simply need fewer people whose entire job description is purely to coordinate that work. That middle layer inevitably compresses. So as that coordination layer shrinks, the second shift kicks in. New hybrid roles emerge. A standout example here is what we can call the AI workflow owner. Now this is fascinating because this person, they aren't a data scientist. They're not writing code all day. And actually, they aren't your traditional people manager either. Instead, this is someone who owns exactly how AI is embedded into a specific business process, from end to end. They deeply, deeply understand the operations, and they know exactly how to leverage AI to execute them. They are essentially the critical bridge between what the technology can do and the team's actual daily output. And that brilliantly illustrates our third major shift, decision rights moving downward. Look, in a legacy org chart, a senior manager might need 3 separate meetings, a data team, and a full week of waiting around just to get a specific market analysis to make a single decision. Today, an AI-empowered frontline employee can generate that exact same analysis instantly. Because the frontline now has immediate access to those high-level insights, those old approval bottlenecks can be completely removed, not just sped up, but totally eliminated. The people who are closest to the problem now actually have the analytical power to just solve it without asking for permission from 3 layers up. So how do you actually get there? Here is a highly practical playbook for your leadership team. Literally, grab a pen and print out your current org chart. Step 1, mark every single role whose main output is information synthesis, first drafts, or status reporting. Just circle them. Step 2, identify those specific individuals for immediate retraining. And step 3, which is absolutely vital, you need to redesign those jobs together with the employees. Now, I know what you're thinking. When you start circling those synthesis and reporting roles, it's totally natural to feel this wave of anxiety about layoffs. But we have to shift that mindset right now. Those roles are the most exposed to restructuring, not elimination, restructuring. Let me repeat that because it is the core of a successful transition. You are not crossing names off a list here. You are identifying which of your people are currently trapped doing work that a machine should be doing so you can free them up to do what humans actually do best. So where do those people go? Well, the individuals in those exposed roles should be your absolute first candidates for retraining. And you want to retrain them into three specific highly valuable areas: judgment-heavy work, relationship-heavy work, or oversight-heavy work. Think about it. AI cannot negotiate a nuanced contract with a sensitive client. AI is not going to build trust with a new vendor. And AI for sure needs human oversight to ensure its outputs are actually accurate and aligned with your company's ethics. That right there is exactly where you redeploy your human capital. But here is where so many organizations completely drop the ball. We call it the restructuring trap. The absolute biggest mistake you can make right now is treating AI adoption as this thinly veiled headcount reduction exercise, announced from the top down. If leadership simply mandates, hey, we have AI now, so we're cutting the coordination staff by 20%, you will instantly destroy team morale. You're going to lose critical institutional knowledge, and you virtually guarantee that your remaining employees will actively resist using AI out of pure fear for their own jobs. The companies that are actually getting this right take a completely different approach. They realize that the true workflow experts are their own employees. Successful organizations actively involve the people in those legacy roles in redesigning their own jobs around AI. Why? Because the person who has literally been doing that reporting process for the last 3 years understands the actual physical reality of that workflow way better than any outside consultant or executive ever could. When you empower them to use AI to eliminate their own drudgery, they become your greatest champions for efficiency. Ultimately, the entire philosophy of this AI-first org chart boils down to a fundamental repositioning of value. It's really not about having fewer people. You are positioning humans exactly where human judgment, empathy, and strategic thinking add the absolute most value. And simultaneously, you're positioning AI exactly where speed, data processing, and absolute consistency matter most. It becomes the ultimate complementary system. Which brings us to our final question for you to chew on today. Are you ready to actually redesign your org chart? Or are you falling into the real failure patterns of AI adoption? Because getting the structure right, that's really just the first hurdle. Actually executing that adoption day to day is where so many companies stumble. Keep this question in mind because in our next explainer, we are diving directly into the real failure patterns behind AI adoption and exactly how you can avoid them. Until then, take a good hard look at that org chart. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.